Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlogs. So nice to be back after having a bit of a break. Now, there will be more of these breaks coming up because I have a lot of work that I have to do and I can't do vlogs and the work around the house. This is all to do with preparation for the garage. Anyway, that's on another episode. Now, the episode that I was going to bring you today, which was me fitting the radio, the aftermarket radio to the TT, we've come up with a bit of a snack. So when I took the original radio, the Chorus radio out of the car, I found out that it has the Bose amp somewhere in the vehicle. That means we need to get a different wiring harness. The wiring harness that I have, it makes the assumption that there is no Bose wiring. Also, the Bose system comes with a CAN bus which talks to the head unit. So we need to ensure that we get that CAN bus system replaced. So in other words, long story short, I had to order some new cabling. So that will be along sometime during this week. So kind of thought to myself, well, what are we going to bring you instead? Well, this week I happened to be invited to go up to Ultimate Dubs. First time going to Ultimate Dubs. We've been to go in the past, and the reason why I went was because I needed some inspiration. You probably noticed that there hasn't been a new car on the channel this year, and that's for a good reason, because I don't want to just go out and buy something for the sake of putting a car on the channel. That's not what we're about, you know. So I want something that's going to be a project car, that's going to be exciting for you guys, because the content on here in recent weeks hasn't been that great, and the numbers are showing that. But that's because I've been looking out for Mr. Right car. Now, a few weeks ago I thought I found Mr. Right car. It was a TTRS, and we'll come on to that later on. Unfortunately, I didn't get that car. It went for stupid money, and the person who I was bidding against was going to win that car no matter what. It was a Copart car. Probably put a picture of it up now, and I believe it was part of the 500 club. If you don't know what that means, there's in the RS3 and the TTRS community, there is this thing about getting 5-cylinder engines of 500 brake horsepower. Okay, the 500 club. And I believe that this car was one of those, because it had a lot of features on the vehicle that kind of lent themselves to that. And I think the person who I was bidding against knew that, and he was going to win that car come what may. So he did. Anyway, I decided, well, Ultimate Dubs, let's go and get some inspiration. And there was one particular car that I really wanted to see, that I've been communicating with the chap on Instagram. You'll see that in a second, because I actually took the video of the vehicle, and it is every bit impressive in the flesh as it is on 2D picture. So let me talk you through some of the cars that I saw there, rather than do the standard thing that you normally see when people go to Ultimate Dubs and they play a jazzy soundtrack and fancy video. I'm going to talk you through some of the cars that I saw rather than play music. There'll be music, but anyway, enough waffle. Let's have a look at the first car. Okay, so let's start off with Super Ted. This is a Mark 1 TT owned by Paul Skelton, and this car is phenomenal. The amount of detail that Paul has put into this car is fantastic, and it really is something to see in the flesh. If you ever get a chance to see this car, go see it, because this car is brilliant. It has a lot of carbon on here as well. Interior has been completely redone, and the seats are new as well, and the interior has got this Alcantara all over. And like I said, look at the amount of carbon and bling in that engine bay. It's a fantastic car, and word on Paul. And yeah, great car. The Auto Finesse stand. I like Auto Finesse products. I was disappointed they didn't have any of their Daz polishers here, but this Porsche that they had here was phenomenal. It was a beautiful car, and of course you were able to get products on the stand. This is the showstopper for me. It's an Audi Coupe 100, an old classic, And Andy, the owner of this car, he actually owns a company called Not Just For Campers, and this is a showcase of the things that they can do other than doing camper vans up, which is their speciality. This car's been built completely from the ground up. As you can see, it's got a new engine in there. The interior has been completely redone as well, and even the clocks on this car is, I think it's from a VW. Of course, the car is on air ride, and it's leather throughout. But like I said, the detail on here is phenomenal, and he actually won Showstopper, so that just shows how good it is. Just look at that engine bay. Everything in here is chromed and clean to the limit, and this is a daily. Andy actually uses this regularly. This TT caught my eye. It's Mark II on air. The interior on it is phenomenal. I love this colour in a TT or any car really, hence the reason why I did it in my Mark 1, but this one was pretty special. And of course, it's on air as well. This Mark 1, again, completely clean engine bay. This is quite a common theme in a lot of the cars in this year's Ultimate Dubs. This being a Mark 1, and of course it has the original GTI interior, which you're about to see, which was absolutely prestige. So there was a whole lot of Mark 1s out in the hallway, and this was one of them. Well, this is one of the ones that caught my eye. So this is a car, what, 1978? So it's very old. This Mini's not a dub, I know, but it's the wrap that caught my attention. And I think it's the company called OC Wraps. This wrap was really nice. It's on the Martini one, the old Martini wrap. But the interior was phenomenal as well. Carbon fiber interior with Alcantara purple out throughout. Looked really nice. This is Big T, and this is Mini actually. Big RS, Mini RS. Yeah, just caught my eye, this car. A lot of carbon under the bonnet. I do like this, and of course it's an RS3, so it's got that classic 5-pot Audi engine. This Golf, I think this is a Mark V Golf. Again, absolutely, this is one of the showstoppers as well for me. I think this is probably one of the best Golfs that was there in the show, and that's the reason why I filmed the interior like this. Look at that engine bay. Absolutely immaculate. That's the 2 litre TFSI engine. That's in a lot of Audi, but even the bonnet or the actual tray that they put on there was really good. And of course, air ride. This is a certain Matt Armstrong, a well-known YouTuber on the car scene. He was there with his entourage. So this is another TT that I saw, Admiral TT. Beautiful interior, burgundy theme running throughout the seats, and also the fat filters. And the colour of the car was kind of a lime green. Of course, another bagged car. It was really nice and came across really nice as well. One thing I really loved about this car though was the engine bay, full of carbon, but that burgundy cover, engine cover, was magnificent. Really looked the part. Now, I'm not a fan of Beetles, but I was a fan of this, especially when I saw what was under the bonnet here, 5-cylinder pop engine. That must be a conversion and a half, but it wasn't only just a standard 5-cylinder dropped in. You can see there's some serious rerouting of the turbo there. That's a massive turbo on the side. Then the actual bodywork of the car was great. This is on the Rotiform stand. These wheels are 22-inch wheels. And then over here, just look at those exhausts. That's the side exhaust. That's the exhaust for the car. Magnificent. This is another TT that I saw, a red one. Again, bagged on BBS wheels. These wheels are quite big actually, they're about 20-inch wheels. These are Voodoo wheels. They basically do 2-piece wheels. And they were making one on the stand. And finally, a purple S3. Yes, this car's wrapped on air, and the interior pretty much a bit like mine, just with the diamond seats and that carbon fiber steering wheel with the Alcantara was really nice. So there you have it. That's all the cars I saw up there. Now, was I impressed? Well, There were certainly some nice cars there, but nothing really sort of impressed me as such. But it was nice to see how people present their cars and the kind of cars that actually got into the hall, because if you've ever been to Ultimate Dubs, there's two shows really. There's an exterior show, that's the cars that have not quite met the mark, but they are impressive enough to be outside, and then there's the cars that are really bling, or people have done a lot of work to it, so they deserve to be inside. And even in the inside hall there is an inner and then there's a outer hall section. So there's a cars that go in the outskirts before you get into the main auditorium, and then there's the cars that actually get into the auditorium as well. And I was, what's the word I'm going to use here? I thought the quality would be a lot higher. Certainly the Audi Coupe, the Coupe 100 was absolutely brilliant. That was probably one of the best cars, if not the best car in the actual event. But the other cars, they were okay. It really sort of gave me a lot of hope that I actually could produce a car that could be quite comfortably inside that inner hall, that inner sanctum, so to speak. So definitely a good experience, and I will now go away and put what I learnt into practice, put some thought, and then pick the appropriate vehicle and then see where we go with that. Good, so let's talk cars, shall we? Next car. I'm not going to talk about what the next car is going to be. I have some ideas. I've mentioned one before. But what I will tell you is that it won't be an RS3. Why? Well, I think my car needs have changed. You see, before when I was looking to get an RS3, it's because there was more of us living at home here. But it's me, my wife, and my youngest son, who is in his 20s, and he's got his own vehicle and his own friends. So chances of him actually coming with us in the car are becoming more and more remote. And we'll be going on holiday in May, so he'll be traveling with us to the airport, but that probably will be one of the last holidays that he has with us. After that he'll probably go on holidays by himself with his friends, so that means that don't really need another five-door car. We've got the Golf GTE, and that's going to be a keeper for a while, a long while I think. So it means that my car choices kind of change, and one thing that won't is that I really do want an Audi 5-pot engine car, and I think the car that will suit that just fine will be a TT RS, because it's a TT, my favorite all-time car, and it's a 5-cylinder engine. Now whether we buy one or we build one remains to be seen. I'm looking at the possibility of building one, but we shall see in due course whether it's not cost effective, because if you build a TTRS it will not be cheaper than buying one, but it does mean that you could customize it the way you want it. So it's an interesting thing, and I've seen some builds, not TTs, most people put those RS engines in something else. I've seen a Yeti, and well, we were seeing the Beetle one today, but let's see what happens. Give me some ideas as well in the description below. So that's it for this week. Don't forget to subscribe if you're a casual viewer, click on the bell notification, and we will see you on our next video. Oh, by the way, next week is a special one because it's our 4th anniversary. 4 years that this channel has been running, so we might take a bit of a look down memory lane, but we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, have a good one, and we will see you next week.